Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to talk about one of the most interesting things today: how God deals with narcissists in real life. People who seem to focus on themselves, who can't understand or care about other people's feelings, and who use and abuse others for their own benefit, are people we've all met. But what does life have planned for these people in the big picture? The question is, how does God see selfish behavior? And does God have a plan for people who act in this way? You've come to the right place if you want to know how the divine knowledge deals with this personality type, why people who hurt others always seem to get caught, and how spiritual views can help us understand the role of narcissists in our lives. Stay tuned, because we're about to share deep thoughts that might change the way you think about narcissism, justice, and God's role in all of it. As we start this journey, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with anyone you think could use more information on this subject. We're here to shed light on tough problems and talk about important subjects. Okay, let's begin. Narcissists are often thought of as heartless individuals who take advantage of others and live their lives only for their own benefit. But beyond psychology, a lot of people are curious about what God has planned for these kinds of people. Since God sees everything and is fair, it makes sense that God would know what happens when people act narcissistically and would do something about it. This idea of divine justice is both comfortable and interesting, because it means that what we do always has results, even if we can't see them right away. The first thing to keep in mind is that ego is not a new problem. People have shown selfishness, arrogance, and a lack of concern for others' well-being throughout history, and even in spiritual books. Narcissistic behavior has always been a part of history, from biblical characters like Pharaoh who forced others to work for him and demanded to be worshipped, to historical rulers who wanted to rule countries just for their own pride. Many of these characters ended up falling, which is a metaphor for how life tends to correct people who move too far from being kind and humble. There are many interesting stories in the Bible about people who fell because they were too proud. For example, King Nebuchadnezzar was proud of his country and what he had done because he thought he was the most powerful and divine ruler. But in the end, God made him humble by making him live like a wild animal, without any power or honor. This story is symbolic, and it's often seen as a lesson that people who think they are better than others and aren't humble will eventually face things that make them realize how limited they are. Spiritual beliefs encourage people to be humble, but narcissism goes against that in many ways. So when God deals with narcissists, they usually learn lessons that help them see where they fit in the bigger picture. Persons with selfish traits often seem to get ahead at first glance in everyday life. They might lie, trick, or use charm to get what they want, whether it's in a relationship, at work, or in social situations. This might work for a while. It could help you get respect, power, or even money. Their journey rarely ends well, though. Life has a way of making people who hurt others right. In a spiritual sense, this is often seen as a way for God to punish people for their actions, by letting them feel the results of their choices. The idea of reaping what you sow is one way that this divine justice works. When narcissists use other people to get what they want, they may feel good at first. But over time, this behavior makes them feel alone because it hurts their relationships and makes them act alone all the time. As time goes on, people start to see through the narcissist's facade, and their power or charm fades. This could be seen as a spiritual principle at work. God lets people make choices, but those decisions will always affect how good their lives are. Narcissists are dealt with by God in other ways too. For example, they are put in situations and meet people who act just like them. You may notice that narcissists often run into pushback, or even people who refuse to give in to their tricks. These tasks aren't made up at random. In many spiritual views, these events are seen as perfectly planned times when the narcissist has to face the harm they cause. These times can be wake-up calls, even if they seem harsh. The narcissist can always be forgiven and grow if they choose to think about their actions and make changes. But if they don't pay attention to these signs, They might end up in a cycle of failed relationships and unmet needs. People who have been hurt by narcissists may also wonder why God lets these kinds of people into their lives. It's a tough question, but many spiritual points of view say that these kinds of events can help people grow and become more religious. When people meet narcissists, they learn how to set limits, look out for their own health, and become stronger. Even though it hurts, these kinds of events often make people want to grow in their faith and develop traits like patience, forgiveness, and knowledge. In this way, even bad experiences can be used for a greater good, helping with mental growth and self-awareness. The chance to change is one of the most important ways that God deals with narcissists. Even though many narcissists don't like to think about themselves, even the toughest people start to question their actions from time to time, usually when they are going through a personal crisis or loss. There is always a spiritual presence that offers a chance to turn around and change. There is a way to be forgiven for those who are willing to change. In this way, God's interactions with narcissists are not just harsh. They are also based on mercy and the chance to heal. God's attitude to narcissism is basically a mix of justice and mercy. It's possible for narcissists to face results that show them their flaws and the harm they cause, but they can always ask for forgiveness and start over. This dual nature of divine justice, where there is both responsibility and the chance to be forgiven, shows how complicated the divine view is. God's interactions with narcissists are eventually a reminder that everyone can change, and that life is meant to lead people back to humility, empathy, and real connections with other people. This video is a deep look at how God deals with narcissists in life. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our station if you thought this video was helpful. We are here to have talks that will make you think about important issues. For now, stay interested and kind until next time. It's always true that God is wise and fair, even when we can't see it.